position in the board of management of academic speakers. In today's time, for the last few years, apart from having a background of multi-variety, varied and multi-using areas of specialization, he has been settling down himself in the area of education. He has come out from the area of business, sales, marketing, research, and whatnot. And at the end of the process, he's gone into the management research education. He's posted in a degree college at Jammu right now.
Transferred
Back to Srinagar. Okay. And then we have already enjoyed his richness of knowledge in the past when our many students of management have gone out of GCPS with foreign degrees. And I have to thank him for all his contribution at that time by imparting the training to our students at that time. And now again, since he's come here, the first priority he has given to GCPS for throwing a lecture and seminar on tourism industry tourism industry of houseboats in Kashmir. And this has a multi-specialty kind of knowledge which every Kashmiri, in fact, every entrepreneur in this part of the country should possess. It's not that management carries this information because Kashmir and houseboat, this is a kind of a specialty and a unique thing what we are having here. So based on that project, Dr. Abrar is going to be holding a seminar. Until then, are they supposed to have a question answer session also in that? We will also appreciate in case at any point of time during the session or at the end of the session you are carrying any question of doubts or any queries regarding the topic whatsoever, and you can directly ask Dr. Abrar about it. I am sure that this knowledge and information is going to be definitely carrying you not only for yourself but the society and the right and left whosoever people are working with you. I wish you good luck and thank you again. We will carry it and I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
And once again, I will welcome you.
Thank you. Is this a seat?
Yes.
Idris sir, please. Please. Introducing Professor Idris sir. He is assistant professor in University of Leiden, Europe. And first of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Dr. Bashir Khan for the opportunity of presenting a seminar in front of you. And the seminar is about houseboat tourism industry in Kashmir. As I have been told that the students' composition is from political science, sociology, tourism, and English. So the presentation will be in such a way so that it will be beneficial for all the streams, because tourism is the backbone of the economy of Kashmir, and being the sons and daughters of the soil, this is the consideration of every student or every professional. Actually, houseboat industry had remained my topic for my doctoral work as well, and that I had deliberately chosen because of some reasons. The first reason was that time when I started working on houseboat tourism industry, that time there was a High Court verdict given by the former Chief Justice of Kashmir, that is Justice Bashir Ahmad Khan, who had given the verdict to eradicate houseboats from the lake. The reasons for that verdict quoted by the Honorable High Court were that houseboats pollute the lake and we have lake which is much more important than the houseboats. So that was the verdict of the High Court, and it was based on this reason. I am sharing this with you because at the end of the session we will be holding a question and answer session, and in that I will seek your opinion also about that. But before I will go further to elaborate on this topic, how many of you agree that houseboats are really polluting the lake and should be eradicated? Those who agree with this, raise their hands up. We can say that only 1% or 2% of the students agree with that. So those who agree, maybe I will ask for the reasons for their agreement on this statement at the end. And majority of the students disagree with that. That means majority of the students feel that houseboats are not polluting the lake. Let us not be decisive as what houseboats do. Let us only see that what we have to say about as far as the research findings are concerned. Now I will not be giving any PowerPoint presentation because we lack some gadgets like projector and other sort of things. So I will make it completely an oral presentation, and maybe you will enjoy that better than any sort of digital presentation. When we talk about houseboat industry and the research work, because the researcher has always to be unbiased. When I had taken research on houseboats, what is my personal opinion, I had to sidetrack it. Because if personal opinion would have come into it, then the research would have been biased. So I had to be first neutral enough to conduct the research. And first of all, definitely like you, I had also my feelings about the industry. Whether that was positive or negative, that I had sidelined for some time being a researcher. Because had I done that, that would have definitely interfered with the research process. It would have been a biased research. So I had sidelined that and went into the field of research. During my first phase of research, I met the Honorable Chief Justice, that is Justice Bashir Ahmed Khan, who had given that verdict. Because I took his personal opinion, and it was maybe a 1 hour or 1.5 hour meeting with him. And I tried to know what was in his mind while passing that verdict. He said that I had visited many countries, but I have seen many water bodies, but I have never seen this type of houseboats in any water body. So when it is not important elsewhere, why it is important here? That was his reason for that. Second thing he said, that if I had seen such type of, that is not called houseboat, he said, if I have seen such type of floating hotel anywhere, but they are not stationary like the houseboats here, as they are moored in a particular place. But if they are outside anywhere, I have seen they are like boats. Sometimes they will be here, sometimes they will be at any place. And the reason he quoted was that it spoils the lake because of the sanitation, because the sewage that comes out of the houseboats, that directly goes to the water body. I noted certain points, and I went and approached it to one of the bodies, one of the organizations who take care of lake. That is the Lauda, Lakes and Waterways Development Authority. That has been created for this purpose, to take care of the lake. I approached the vice chairman as well as the executive engineer of the Lauda, and that time I talked to one of the persons in Lauda, that is Mr. Engineer Shafat Kadifi, because he had worked in the Lauda since the Lauda was created. So I thought he is the right person who can tell about it from the scientific point of view, along with the ecologists there working in Lauda. They said that yes, of course, they are houseboats create problems to the lake because of its sanitation, of its sewage which goes to the lake. And I had taken that point into consideration, and I met the Houseboat Association President, Mr. Aziz Kumar, who is right now also the President of the association. I told him about, and he took me to his houseboat and to areas, and he told me that, look, you have not told me before that I am going to meet you. Maybe it was a 2-hour or 3-hour back call, and I would not have made any proper arrangement to show you. So this is as it used to be every time. He said that you just see around and see the sanitation of, or see the condition of the lake around the houseboats. To my surprise, it was very clean there. There was no foul smell over there. And he had his own reasons to tell about the houseboats. Definitely, he was very much optimistic about houseboats, positive about houseboats, unlike the chief judge, was very much negative about the houseboats. But at their own places, everybody was right from their perspective. But as a researcher, I took into consideration that when we talk about houseboat industry, we have to first of all see that to what extent we require this industry for the economy of the state. And definitely, when we talk about the economy of Kashmir, we talk about tourism. Why we talk about tourism? Because that is our USP, that is a unique selling proposition. Anywhere you talk about Kashmir in the world, the first thing they will say is about the beauty of Kashmir. And when we talk about the beauty of Kashmir, we can cash it upon through tourism, isn't it? So, from the tourism point of view, one thing which the Houseboat Owners Association president told me, he said that houseboat, because of houseboats, tourism is here. He told it. And now, Justice Bashir Khan said that tourism have no, we will still receive tourists, so the houseboats are there or not. With this begin the research, because now I have to see that whether tourism is really required, for tourism houseboats are really required or not. So that was now the hypothesis of the research. And for that, who would have been taken into consideration now? Who would have answered this now? Whether houseboats are important for tourists or more technically we can say houseboat is a significant component of tourism industry. Who would have given the answer?
The population of research.
Huh?
Population of research.
Population of research. Very good. Who are that?
The people of Kashmir.
People of Kashmir? Houseboat owners? Anybody else? Tourists. Yes. It is the tourist actually who can be the real judge of it. Because a tourist is attracted to visit Kashmir, and to his attraction, how important is houseboat, that nobody will tell better than the tourist itself, isn't it? So for that, I had constructed a questionnaire, a sort of survey instrument, which we call in research language. And that survey instrument which I constructed, the statements were made in such a way so that we can come to know about the attractiveness of houseboats for tourists. There are many statements that are there in the survey instrument. I will just quote a few. Like, for example, we asked tourists that when you made a decision to visit Kashmir, was houseboat in your mind or not? Got it? Before taking a decision to visit Kashmir, was houseboat in your mind or not? To whom are we asking this question? We are asking this question to the right. Another question we are asking to support the answer of this question, that is, when if you would have heard that houseboats no more exist in Kashmir, would you have still come to Kashmir, or you would reconsider your decision? So, like these, we developed the statements. And after developing these statements, what we have to do? We have to administer the survey instrument to the tourists, isn't it? To get the real answer. That we did. But now, before doing that, we have to identify a sample. Because suppose in Kashmir, in the previous year, we received lakhs of tourists. Now we could not have approached lakhs of tourists to get their view, isn't it? Because neither that was practically feasible for an individual researcher, nor it would have been possible. So what we did, we identified a sample, that also a random sample, irrespective of who are the tourists, irrespective of selectively choosing the tourists, we have taken a random sample of tourists. And we have taken a random sample of 152 tourists only. 152 tourists on a random basis. And once we administered the questionnaire to 152 tourists and we received back the filled questionnaires, the questionnaire was also to be framed in such a way so that it would not have been difficult for a tourist to answer it. Because we don't know now who the tourist is, whether he is a highly qualified person or whether he is not so qualified, whether he is a businessman or a professional. We are not aware because our sample is random. Anybody, any tourist anywhere on suppose Boulevard or any place, we have chosen him. For that, what we have taken a random sample, but we have developed the questionnaire in such a way so that it will be understood by a common person. And also we have tried to design it in such a way so that this will also help you in your dissertation which you have in your PG course, because this is a research methodology. What we did, we developed the statements on a scale. We used a common scale which we use in research, that is called Likert scale, because Likert was the person who first identified that scale, and on his name the scale is commonly called as Likert scale. That is mostly a 5-point scale. What? 5 point. That means at the end of every statement we have mentioned 5 options. 5, ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree. Ranging from strongly agree to strongly agree 1. I mean that is that we have ranked as 5 because that helps us in the analysis part. We have named strongly analysis as 5, agree as 4, neither agree nor disagree, that as 3, disagree, that is 2, strongly disagree, that is 1. This was the 5-point scale we developed. Why we developed a 5-point scale? Because now there is a statement given. At the end there are 5 options. Now the tourist has only to read the statement, which was designed in such a way, very, very common language, without using any sort of jargons in that. Followed by these 5 options. Now a tourist has simply to choose one of the 5 options. If he is agreeing with the statement, to what extent he is agreeing? If he is strongly agreeing, then 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. That we take. And we received the filled in questionnaires, and to process it, we have used a statistical software, that is SPSS 17.0, new version of statistical package for software solutions, because that helps us in analysis. And we fed this data into SPSS and obtained the results. And the results were that the result part was like this, because we had taken mean, standard deviation into consideration. At least above 60% tourists aggregate, strongly agree and agree. We had an aggregate of 60% tourists, more than 60% tourists, who had chosen strongly agree and agree for the statements, like the statement which I have mentioned. Got it? That is, when I begin my research, that time I was not also thinking that houseboats are so important for the tourism industry. But research findings showed that there is a correlation between tourism and houseboats. Because tourists revealed that they had a curiosity to stay in the houseboats. So that was the aspect. And that way there was, because there was a significant significance of houseboats in tourism industry of Kashmir. But another thing is that, because there were statements based on environment also. Yes, to that, about more than 50 or 60% of the tourists. Because when we talk about eco-friendliness of houseboats, yes, they were in negative. They were in. That means tourists definitely have an attraction to Kashmir, and houseboat had a role to play in that. But on the other hand, tourists do realize that houseboats are not eco-friendly. Got it? Are not
Eco-friendly.
So to broaden the horizon of the research, I had gone ahead that how to go with this, how to make it eco-friendly now. Because now there are two ways. One is to remove the houseboats, but at the same time it is a significant component of tourism industry. So if we remove that, it will have an impact on the economy also. Second thing is that, which tourists revealed about its lack of eco-friendliness. Because they found that sewage is going or something, whatever they had observed, and they had reflected that in the survey the students. So for that, I developed another questionnaire. And that questionnaire was not meant for the tourists. That questionnaire was meant for the houseboat owners and who can be the other? This? General public? Anybody else? Because that questionnaire to houseboat owners, and there is one more stakeholder. That is the, not hoteliers, policy makers. That is government, isn't it? Because government has some policy now regarding these houseboats. As I told you about Lauda, Lauda had its own scientists who are working for the preservation of the lake. They had been there all the time to go for the sort of how to sustain the lake, how to make it sustainable for the coming generations. So they had some plans. One plan was the rehabilitation of houseboat owners. But rehabilitation to the extent of to remove houseboat owners to some peripheries, whatever, and houseboats will be there. Got my point? They mean to say that this time houseboat owners are living there, and if their families will be shifted, then houseboats will be. But at the same time, houseboat owners had not given their consent to that plan. Second thing was realignment. Realignment. That is, if the boats are in haphazard condition, they are to be aligned in such a way which will make possible the treatment of sewage. Because if things are scattered, it is difficult to lay sewage pipes or to interconnect the sewage and take it to some sewage treatment plant. But if they are properly aligned in a particular area, then it may be possible to do that. Got it? So that was the plan of Lauda. But at the same time, in the plan it was mentioned that the cost sharing should be there. Suppose if this project will take, say, 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, for example, for one houseboat, maybe 30% should be borne by the houseboat owners. Got it? So that was the plan. But at the same time, I designed the questionnaire to see to what extent are houseboat owners willing to adapt to this plan. With that instrument, I approached the houseboat owners. Got it? But houseboat owners had their own reservations for the implementation of this plan. Houseboat owners say that if government is going for sewage treatment in any colony or in any area, are they asking people to pay for it? Got it? They say, I said no. They say that then why we will pay for it? If government has to do it, they should do it of their own. Why they are asking money from us? So they did not show their willingness to share the costs of the plan. About that rehabilitation, that is, they said that yes, if government is going to rehabilitate us in such a way that will compensate us, we are ready. But at the same time, a few houseboat owners, they showed their houseboats and they said that this houseboat costs 3 crores, 4 crores, cost of houseboat. Yeah, of course we can't deny that also, because the houseboats which I have seen, they are much better than even star-grade hotels with their facilities and amenities. The entire is woodwork and it is the heritage type of carving there, isn't it? Very appealing, very aesthetic. So definitely, if not 3 crore, but in crores, the price can be the possibility. So it became, now the compensation for the government was not that much when I approached the people who are at the helm of affairs of the rehabilitation. But while figuring out the plan, they don't take all the houseboat owners into consideration. Because in Kashmir right now, the number of houseboats is around, I can't say exactly, is around 869. Around 869. But at the same time, the houseboat developers, they are in thousands. Because a person living in a dunga, for government, he is also a person who is to be compensated. A person having a small one room in the lake around, he is also considered to be in the rehabilitation. So that takes to thousands. Now that is not confined to these 869 or so houseboat owners. Now, definitely a person who is having a small dunga or a one room, and a person who is having a big houseboat where he is offering star-grade facilities, they can't be compensated in the same scale, because he will definitely demand higher compensation. But in the eyes of the government, they are houseboat developers and they don't segregate them. Although houseboat community have their own segregation, and that is a typical Kashmiri terminology what they say about that. Okay, they call it like one type of, they have their own words for it. And maybe that word may appear to be a bit crude here, so I will not use that word. Right. Now, at this stage, we will, because at this stage, I will throw an open question to you all. Now, what are your suggestions at this juncture? Because now when we talk about, this is called brainstorming session. Brainstorming means when two heads are always better than one. Sometimes what happens in brainstorming, with some ignition, suppose I said something about the industry. At the beginning I told you something, at this stage now I am telling you something. Now I expect some ideas will come out from you. Maybe some ideas will be that much relevant which can be incorporated into the suggestions. Okay. So at this point, I throw an open question to all of you. That is, what do you think should be done at this juncture? Any suggestion, anything you have in mind, you can come up with.
The government should go for rehabilitation policy in terms of just one area, then next area, then next area. Because the financial crisis it has, so you can't rehabilitate at one time all of their household owners. So better is to which are vulnerable areas of Dal Lake. First, rehabilitate them, where we face major problems in terms of sanitation or in terms of this degradation of the lake, etc. So first, rehabilitate them, focus on them, then go to next areas on water bodies wherever. It's one suggestion as per me. First, focus on those areas, try to rehabilitate, and compensation in terms, ask them little amount, and try the government should try themselves to give more compensation to them. I think this is one point I can suggest.
Your good name?
So my name is Ahmad. Ahmad, A-M-A-D.
Now we have one of the students present here, Ahmad. He suggests that government should go they should go up with a priority plan. That is to identify some areas which are more prone to pollution and start the rehabilitation in phases. That is to rehabilitate that phase first and see what are the results of that, and then go it on extend to other phases. Yeah, of course, whenever there is a rehabilitation or any such measure to be taken, this always proves to be a very good strategy. Suppose we talk about when electric meters and government had a meterization plan. They started with some pockets, with especially some elite colonies, which they feel that they will not resist that much. Some localities like Rajbagh and others, they started with the meterization there, and they stopped it for some time and just observed the reactions. And what they did, they give round the clock electricity to those areas, metered areas. Suppose now Rajbagh was getting 24-hour electricity after meterization, and the adjacent colonies like Bartala and others were seeing they are getting 24-hour electricity. So with the passage of time, they feel that it is not bad, they should go for this also. And people started liking the change, and meterization moved ahead. So that is the strategy which Ahmad had prescribed. Should be implemented in this industry also. Very right suggestion. Anybody else? Okay.
Now we should go for comprehensive waste management.
Yes.
Comprehensive waste management policy should be there because
Comprehensive.
waste management for this purpose.
Okay.
Whether we compensate or not, hospitals are going to be there.
Right.
Tourists are going to be there. People are going to be there. So waste is always going to be there. So there should be a strategy for comprehensive waste management. Waste management should be there. That should be comprehensive for all the hospitals, going was whatever is there. That's it. Because even after rehabilitation, the people, the waste will be there. They are not going to move. Even if you rehabilitate the people, the tourists are going to come. They are going to enjoy their life there. So waste is going to be there. So there has to be a comprehensive waste management strategy for all the houseboats, for all the water bodies, whatever existing there.
Right. Your good name?
Sajjad Mazhar.
Sajjad. Now we have another student. You are from which background? Political science. Sajjad is prescribing proper waste management. That is, in a way, he wants us to say that government should approach some consultancies who are specialized in waste management so that they can give some measures which will be very much effective as far as the waste management of houseboats is concerned. They can come up with some scientific plan in a way the waste can be scientifically managed so that houseboats will also be there and there will be no pollution out of it. Okay, again that is a valid suggestion which can be incorporated upon and will be taken to higher authorities so that they can think about it. Anybody else?
Yes, I would like to add to Mr. Sajjad.
Right.
Said, rather than rehabilitating and moving the whole system, we can improve the existing system. Because as Mr. Sajjad said, houseboats, even if houseboats are not there, people are going to be there. So pollution is always a part of so-called modernity. Civilization has to cope up with pollution. So it's better to have biodegradable system, waste management system, and that's more easy and eco-friendly. We have some bacteria which we can grow, we can cultivate, which can cure the pollution of the Dal, and not only Dal, other water bodies, because houseboats are not only in Dal Lake. Houseboats are in Jhelum also. If you go to foreign countries, they have huge areas, much larger than Kashmir, but they are pollution free because of the eco-friendly approach they are having. So we should be having more biodegradable systems, more awareness in people. That is one of my suggestions towards your question.
Your good name?
I'm Shipra from English.
Okay, so we have another student, Shifra.
She's a student for you right now.
Okay.
The faculty for us.
Yeah. We have a faculty member here, and she is Madam Shipra, and she had suggested
इसीलिए मैंने कहा था
Take-
टेबल पे छोड़ो।
to take.
अब सर साइज के हिसाब से बात कर रहे हैं।
She had suggested to take
It's fine to
biodegradable, and in fact it remembers me of the Houseboat Owners Association president also. He showed me one type of fish around his houseboats. I forget the name of that fish, and he said that this fish does not because it is acting as a sort of natural measure which does not allow to create any pollution around the lake as far as sewage is concerned, because it mitigates the effects of that. And then I talked to one of the persons from fisheries department, and he endorsed that view. He said yes, he is very right. Metacarp or some name he told of that, and that is the most we can say that is the most feasible strategy which can be adopted, because if that thing will be, as the Department of Fisheries person also said about that, he said there is a type of fish, even if there is sewage that is going to the lake, that fish will absolutely mitigate the effect of that. But for that, what we require the measures so as to introduce such fishes into the lake in a proportionate quantity.
And the quantum of the pollution is such that you need maybe 50-60 crores of fish in this.
No, actually, when we talk about the houseboats, they are only 869 of such a number. But at the same time,
And what about the visitors?
yes, because I was taking out it in numerics, and even a big houseboat does not have more than 4 rooms.
Yes, I would like to add something. There is a type of bacteria which is known as bacteriophage.
Right.
It multiplies itself in the presence of pollution. Without pollution, it does not survive. So, whenever there is amount of pollution up to a particular level, it multiplies within 1 minute to 100.
Okay.
One bacteriophage turns into 100.
Right.
So that is also one measure, and that is being implemented in Ganga Action Plan, because of which Ganga has not lost its medicinal properties. In spite of having dump yard of all the big industries and big cities into it, still it is having those medicinal qualities because of that bacteriophage. And since it's a bacteriophage, it does not require physical space. So it can thrive with all the organic material or the animals which are already present. It does not harm any living organism as such.
I'll give you 17 more bacteria which multiply, not only one.
Yeah.
Yes, there are 17.
Many.
Yes.
Numerous
This is one of them. You are.
This is one of them I'm aware of actually.
So very right, valid suggestion. And we are talking about the occupancy. Houseboat owners say that it is the hoteliers actually who are responsible for the mess, because they say that maybe one hotel, they are talking about Central, and that is also we can
But
say.
that is also deserted, like how many people come?
Actually, we have all the central government officers staying here, and especially in 6 months, that is enjoying 10% occupancy because of that.
Yes.
So,
And officers are very highly
So what happens? They say, and they say that houseboat, which I have also seen, not having more than 3 or 4 rooms. So at the most it can accommodate say 8 to 12 tourists. multiply that into the number of days they have seasonality. So the pressure from that is not to that extent, and when we means this plan, as the madam had also suggested, is feasible to be implemented for its this sustainability. Any other suggestion that comes up?
Now you are actually, when we talk about this houseboats, are you focusing on the garbage right now?
We are actually, I think you had not attended the
I'm sorry, I went to buy this chocolate.
actually, we had actually,
I had no driver, so I had to go. That was your order.
we actually have shared some research findings. That is what tourists said about the houseboats. From the administration of the Western years, we have concluded that houseboats are a significant component of tourism industry. But at the same time, the tourists had given their opinion about their non-eco-friendliness. So that is on what we started the debate. What should be done to make it eco-friendly? And for that, some suggestions are coming up, which are very much valid also.
I'll mail you.
So, any other suggestions?
Check and balance system can be introduced, some legal procedures can be taken. For example, we have Centur or any other hotels being constructed around the area, etc. Legal action should be taken for these constructions or for polluting the Dal Lake. Legal procedures and these things, legal action should be taken against them. Laws should be framed because we have laws, but they are not implemented or followed by the people as well. They should
That is already in action. They have strict legal
we should
procedures.
have check and balance system. Basically, if anybody violates, he should be given the punishment for it. Because creating awareness among the houseboat owners, those people living in that area, though they have their own association, they create the awareness. Some houseboat owners do not pollute. They say these pollute, hoteliers, etc., tourists, etc. First of all, create awareness among the whole people, and then legal balances.
Right. The suggestion has been incorporated earlier because a strong legal system is existing right now where it is banned to construct any building in the vicinity of the lake. So that is in action right now, although there are certain violations which are taking part and they can be stopped. The one thing that it will be very interesting here to share. Houseboat owners showed me some documents also. They say that we have ownership rights on this water. They say that it is they say we call strong ownership rights, we call milkiyatis in our term. They say this is milkiyati. They show documents also. That's why they say we are more.
Actually, law says that you can't
Yes,
station
Mr. Sajjad has something to say.
You can't station it.
So as per my information, I think government of Kashmir possesses some houseboats of its own near that Dargah.
No, they belong to one business group that is Mr. Bhatt. He is not from houseboat community. He is a non-houseboat community person operating houseboats. That near Sheikh Saab's grave.
Yes.
Yes. They are not government
Post
houseboats.
office वगैरह, corruption वगैरह वही होंगी।
Actually,
लेन-देन कहाँ करेंगे? सड़क पे थोड़ी करेंगे।
before we conclude the seminar, I will just brief you up regarding actually how the houseboats came to Kashmir. It was about 150 years back when a British Army general had designed the concept of this boat. And it was the Britishers actually who had given the idea of the houseboat 150 years back. And that time, they said that they wanted to own some property here, and they could not because of the existing laws. They could not purchase any property, and then they had only one way, that is to make something in water, and that British Army general designed that. And to my surprise, I was very much surprised when houseboat owner showed the
Water title is there.
because that contradicted
Title is full of water.
that contradicted the existence of the houseboats when they were basically designed 150 years back.
Whereas in British, in Malaysia, in Hong Kong, in Switzerland, if you happen to see these kind of houseboats, they are not stationary. They are supposed to be licensed for a year or two, and then you are supposed to remove, auction it new, dislocate totally. They will not allow you to stay there and then auction from there itself. And even if you continue, you have to get dislocated, you clean it, then it is going to take at least 40 days, 45 days for you to get this, and not necessarily that you are going to get the same space there. I mean, same location. That is how actually is the rule of houseboats. But then when you are talking about title deeds, then now we are scared of the people who are living in houses.
The same thing which I shared with them, and I told you that when I met the Honorable Chief Justice Bashir Ahmed Khan the same day, and who had actually given the verdict about the removal of houseboats as his seniority as Chief Justice. He said the same thing. He said, I have visited many countries and I have never seen these stationary like they are here. And he was completely
This is not meant for home, it's not a residence actually. This concept is worldwide as a tourist hotel, portable, movable hotel kind of thing. So there is no question of having title deed or a stationary license or anything. So anyways, we are living in a land, so it is better to talk something unethical here. Ethics is beyond our reach.
So, yes, you want to say something? Mr. Idris, you want to comment anything?
Thanks.
So I think with this we conclude this seminar, and thank you very much for your valid suggestions.
Are you supposed to contribute anything after your speech, like after the topic? I mean, what I had in my thought was, because there are diversified students here when it comes to the education, but when it comes to the cause and the place where we live in, can we contribute anything with these thoughts and with this qualification what you are giving right now? Or it's only the information and the exchange of views we had here?
Actually, of course, there can be, if there are some students who are very much passionate about the industry and they want to contribute, and they can come up with some voluntary organizations that can always work vis-a-vis the existing system as a part of civil society. You can always contribute through your views, through your opinions, through your suggestions, and collaborate with the people who are already in the sector. That is always possible and feasible also. If you have anything, any questions you want to anything, we can keep it open for some time as an open question and answer session. Before we conclude, we have kept it open. Yes, Mr. Sajjad.
Is there any limitation on the number of houseboats to exist?
Yes, of course. Now, there can't be any new houseboat which can be, we can say, constructed in the lake. Because actually, this was the problem for the houseboat owners also. Because it is actually made up of a specific type of wood, that is cedar. And that is about centuries old, because after that some type of oil seeps out of it, and that makes it water resistant. But after it is constructed, it needs some repair and maintenance. And for that, the houseboat owners require a dockyard, because without dockyard they cannot repair the boat. And their most important demand was of the dockyard. When I had begun my research, that was the most important demand. Yes, of course, I had talked about that demand, and then they received dockyard. But that dockyard is meant only for the repairing of the existing houseboats. They cannot create a new houseboat. That is completely banned under law now.
Now, we have another catch for you, being our students at GCPS, which normally does not happen elsewhere in IGNOU. But then, apart from education, we have noticed that the people are lacking with soft skills and personality development throughout the country, of course, for that matter, even the English people are lacking. But then when it comes to our students, we have thought to take a little help from Dr. Abrar, and we have Madam Shipra here, who has been into the system of things like how to prepare an application, how to behave yourself, how to dress yourself, how to go for the interviews, how you have to etiquette having the telephone calls, receiving or making a call, how to dress yourself, how to write things, articles or correspondence or mails or internet, things like that. Now this whole course is going to be almost a 45 days, 60 days, even 90 days. But then you don't have time. Already people like you are into the jobs or in various kind of activities. We thought that we will just settle for 3 or 4 or 5 sessions, half an hour session, every Sunday. Like say, no, we happen to have today, fine, it was a bit longer. But then in case you are studying for 2 hours, we will be sitting for half an hour for those things. I'll request you because you are into that. So, I mean, we have been seeing people who do not know how to even enter into a cabin of an officer, how to even mail a letter, what kind of contents and draft or the grammar has to be used while corresponding with whom. Not necessary if a relative has to be corresponded, their language is different. If an officer has to be correspondent, how we should behave, how we should enter into it, how we have to prepare an application, where the photograph has to be pasted, whether the photograph has to be pasted or not. I mean, all those kind of things is the need of any hour when you are entering into your future life or career. So, in case you are interested, we will not be charging you anything for that. Though it's a very expensive program we run at Hyderabad. But then here I will be glad if you can take an advantage of it. We will definitely pay to the faculties, doesn't matter, and will not be charging you. And you make it a point, perhaps from next Sunday onwards, the similar way. You sit here, we'll take 15-20 minutes or half an hour from you, sir. I mean, these are the things which we are lacking here. I mean, all of us.
Of course, always support you.
And she will be there to help you in part of the modules. I can give you those modules straight away, and you can execute them from next Sunday onwards. Fine. That's a kind of add-on product for you. Fine. Good luck, and thanks very much for keeping patience. And I'm sure that it will enrich your knowledge to carry further.
Thank you.
And anybody wants to correspond with Dr. Abrar, I will request you to give them your email ID.
You can note my email ID. It is ABRAR _.
You should always score high. Why you score under, sir?